Hello, my friend. Today I want to talk with you and explore the profound concept of doing good for God alone, free from the expectation of repayment. In a world where we often seek validation and gratitude from others, it's important to turn our focus toward God. Let me read Psalm 62 for you. Psalm 62 for the director of music, for Jeduthun, a psalm of David. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. How long will you assault a man? Would all of you throw him down? This leaning wall, this tottering fence? Then fully intend to topple him from his lofty place. They take delight in lies. With their mouths they bless, but in their hearts they curse. Find rest, O my soul, in God alone. My hope comes from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in Him at all times, O people. Pour out your hearts to Him, for God is our refuge. Low-born men are but a breath, but high-born are but a lie. If weighed on a balance, they are nothing. Together, they are only a breath. Do not trust in extortion or take pride in stolen goods. Though your riches increase, do not set your heart on them. One thing God has spoken. Two things I have heard. That you, O God, are strong, and that you, O God, are loving. Surely you will reward each person according to what he has done. Let's begin with a powerful message from Psalm 62. The psalm reminds us of where our true security lies. It reads, Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. This passage sets the tone for our discussion. When we do good deeds, we should remember that our true fulfillment and purpose come from God, not from human recognition. In our daily lives, it's easy to fall into a trap of seeking gratitude from those we help. However, this often leads to disappointment. Proverbs 19:17 offers valuable insight here. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and He will repay him for his deed. This verse is not merely a promise of repayment. It emphasizes that our acts of kindness should be directed towards God rather than a specific outcome from the recipient of our generosity. When we help others, we are essentially serving God. He is the one who sees our hearts and knows our intentions. Think about it. When we offer assistance, whether it's time, resources, or emotional support, it's easy to wish for a thank you or a recognition in return. But what happens when that gratitude isn't expressed? We can feel unappreciated, even sometimes resentful. That's why it's crucial to adjust our expectations. If we seek appreciation from humans, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Human beings are fallible. We often forget to express our gratitude, or we may not reciprocate in the way we hope. But if we focus on serving God through our good deeds, we align ourselves within a source of endless love and acceptance. Let's reflect again on Psalm 62. When the psalmist states that He alone is my rock and my salvation, it teaches us to anchor our worth in our relationship with God. His approval is everlasting and unconditional. So, when we act in kindness, we should remember that it is ultimately for Him. This perspective frees us from the burden of expectations. We can help others with pure hearts knowing that our true reward comes from God, not from the fleeting gratitude of people. So, how can we put this into practice? Here are a few practical steps. Number 1, act with intent. Before doing a good deed, remind yourself that your purpose is to glorify God. Say a quiet prayer asking for the right attitude, focusing on serving Him. Number 2, let go of expectations. As you engage in acts of kindness, consciously release any desire for recognition. This will help you cultivate joy in serving rather than disappointment in seeking repayment. Number 3, reflect on God's promises. Spend time in Scripture, particularly verses like Proverbs 19:17 and Psalm 62. Meditate on the assurance that God sees and values your good deeds. Number 4, find community. Surround yourself with others who share this same mindset. Encourage one another to serve without seeking recognition. And if you've surrounded yourself with like-minded people, they will continue to encourage you, even though you don't need the encouragement. Remember, doing good is not about collecting gratitude, but about reflecting God's love. When we serve others, we are channels of His grace, fulfilling His command to love our neighbors. And let's be clear, seeking appreciation from people is not inherently wrong, but it should not be our primary motivation. When we rely on human gratitude, we can easily become disheartened. Instead, let us find our joy and satisfaction in knowing that our actions please God. Also, let's remember the teachings of Jesus, who instructs us to care for others as if we are serving Him. James 2:14-17 beautifully underscores this, stating, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save him? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and well fed,' but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it?" Jesus calls us to act, to embody our faith through our good works, not for recognition, but as a reflection of His love. Your good deeds are an expression of your faith, and they matter deeply to God. Similarly, Jesus instructs us to do unto others as if we are doing it for Him. In Matthew 25:35-40, where Jesus says, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." This essentially means that by serving those in need, you are serving Jesus Himself. Jesus emphasizes that caring for people who are marginalized or struggling is equivalent to serving Him directly. This verse highlights the idea that Christians are called to see themselves in others, especially those who are less fortunate. As we wrap up today's message, I encourage you to think about how you can apply these lessons in your life. Consider one good deed you can perform this week without expectation of repayment. Thank you for listening to my message today. Remember, as you do good, do it for God alone. Your acts of kindness are treasures stored up in heaven, where they are always recognized and valued. Stay blessed, love you, and talk to you again soon, my friend.